So why do I love failure? Because it's essential to creativity, to innovation, and to personal growth. I'm going to share some stories with you about failure. And what I hope to do is to convince you to make failure part of your creative process. Abraham Lincoln was no stranger to failure. He lost his job. He failed in business. He lost his sweetheart. He had a nervous breakdown. And in politics, he lost the seat, or the nomination for Senate, for legislature. He was defeated for his bid for Congress. He was defeated for the bid for vice presidential nomination. But finally, in 1860, he invented the boombox. This is Ichiro Honda, the founder of Honda Motor Car. And he had a great philosophy. What he did is he told his engineers, you can fail 100 times so long as you succeed just once. This is the Japanese philosophy of kaizen, or continual improvement. Is it working? Well, I haven't heard of Toyota or Honda going to their government asking for a handout. Ray Kroc here, in 1961, was trying to come up with the meatless burger. He needed something to feed the Catholics on Fridays when they don't eat meat. His invention? Fried pineapple with cheese? He called this the Hula Burger. Now, has anybody out there had a Hula Burger at McDonald's? No, it was a dismal failure. But the process led to the highly successful fillet of fish. So, this is a little tough to see, but you can, this is an emotional chart of when I work on a creative process. I start out with a lot of hope and excitement and enthusiasm for what is going to happen, and then I start to get into it, and I may run into a creative block. And I enter into the valley of despair. This is when I think, oh no, the client is going to figure out I'm a total fraud. But I know that failure is part of my process. I keep working, I push, and I try some new solutions. Eventually I come up with something, I present it to the client, they love it, and it instills a great deal of confidence. Now notice that confidence is higher than hope, because what happens in going through this hero's journey is that I end up at a higher place than I started. And then the next time I start the journey, I'm in a much better place. One of my heroes is Bucky Fuller, seen here. And he has a really great philosophy. He says, there are no failed experiments. Only experiments that have unexpected outcomes. So let me give you an example, and this has nothing to do with Bucky Fuller. In 1991, a major drug company was trying to come up with a drug that would help cure chronic chest pain. They called this drug sildenafil. Anybody heard of it? No. It was a total failure. It didn't cure chest pain, but there was a very curious side effect. If you can't read that, it says Viagra. Now talk about a happy accident. Pfizer then rebranded sildenafil as Viagra, and it was the first of a highly successful class of drugs for erectile dysfunction. Now this guy didn't need any performance-enhancing drugs, but he was not immune to failure. Michael Jordan says this, I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost nearly 300 games. On 26 occasions, my teammates entrusted me to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Stephen Colbert, very funny guy, but not exactly an overnight sensation. Had some troubles as a kid, was a self-described nerd, playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and playing a lot of, reading a lot of Tolkien. But he kept at his craft, and he tried some new things. He eventually got a gig with Second City Comedy Troupe in Chicago. That led to an opportunity on The Daily Show, and then that, of course, led to his signature show, The Colbert Report. He had a great philosophy. He says, if at first you don't succeed, Simply redefine what you did as a success. Now, Colbert or any comedian will tell you timing is everything. When Apple introduced the Newton in 1993, they sold 80,000 units in a single year. When they introduced the iPad in April of this year, they sold 300,000 units in a single day. So failure is going to show up in your life. Great organizations and great individuals embrace failure. They make it part of their process. They bake it in. Failure is going to show up like an unexpected house guest. And my challenge to you is to let it in. Use it to grow. I'm going to leave you with a story. There was this farmer and a donkey, and they were finished fertilizing their field, and they were coming back after a hard day's work. The donkey was exhausted. The donkey tripped and fell into a deep, open well. The farmer, not such a sensitive guy, said, well, I'll just bury the donkey, and we'll be okay. Nobody else will fall into the well. So he started shoveling dirt onto the donkey, and eventually he didn't hear the donkey crying out, and he thought, well, I put the donkey out of its misery. He's shoveling dirt, and all of a sudden he sees these two little donkey ears appearing above the horizon line of the well. Like, that's bizarre. So he shovels some more dirt, and he goes over and he looks, and what he realizes is that every time he shovels dirt, the donkey shakes it off and steps up. The farmer shovels more dirt, the donkey shakes it off and steps up. So eventually the donkey's at ground level, the donkey steps out of the well, starts to trot off, stops, looks back at the farmer and says, who's the ass now? So look, life is going to throw dirt on you, and you have a choice. Either you can let it bury you, or you can shake it off and step up.